Hi everybody. Suffering with mental health problems. One thing that is really hard to do, and that is actually talking about it, talking about how you're feeling, what's going on within yourself. Now, one of the reasons why that may be is because of your feelings, and your emotions become repressed. They get blocked. The fear sets in, and a barrier, it's like a barrier there that blocks it and enables you to find it more difficult to express how you're feeling. That's one of the reasons. Other things are the stigma built towards yourself, because you're wondering what other people may think, what the things you may say depending on your illness, expressing about your thoughts that you may be experiencing, like paranoia, paranoid thoughts, delusional thinking, your feelings and your emotions, how it's affecting you within yourself, becomes very difficult sometimes to actually express how you're feeling. But there are many benefits of doing that. Nobody can talk for anybody of how they're feeling. It has to come from that person, and sometimes it may take a little bit of time to actually do that. Another thing as well is trust, building trust to actually do that, confidence. Now all that has benefits. Once you start to actually express how you're feeling, it goes to your confidence. You start to feel a bit more confident to do it again, like to talk again about how you're feeling. It's like anything, the more you do it, the more benefit that you do actually get out of it. Now, I did a video a little while ago, like the difficulties of talking, expressing how you're feeling, but this one is about benefits of actually talking, outletting what is going on with your thoughts, your feelings. If you're suffering with mental health problems that is affecting your thinking, how you're thinking, there's no shame in it. It has to come out somehow. It has to come out how you're feeling. It has to come out whatever way, and by talking it out is the better way. So it's practicing, learning to express how you're feeling. Sometimes talking to a complete stranger, sometimes that can be a bit more easier than actually talking to someone that you know. And when I say a stranger, like the talk lines, like Samaritans, those sort of talk lines, just to on the phone, to outlet how you're feeling. Because when you're talking, whoever you're going to be talking to, no one's there to judge you, and that's what you've got to remember. No one's there to judge what you're saying and so forth. You're doing it for a purpose, to outlet, to express. Like I said, somehow it has to come out. So the benefits as well, it will enable you to be able to cope a little bit better with your mental health problems, whatever you're experiencing. And also as well, acceptance, accepting what is going on in your mind and with your feelings and emotions. It helps with confidence, building on confidence. It'll help you move forward to create other new positive habits of being able to cope and deal with it. And another thing as well, which will be a big thing, when you're in those moments that your mental health is really getting to you, really getting to you, and you just don't know what to do, you don't know what to do. You may have tried other things, but it might not work. Talking, expressing, outletting it all out can get you out of how you're feeling, because the more, like, the more, especially, it's like a build up. It's like a build up there, a gradual build up, and eventually it can come on top, and that's what creates those episodes that you may have from time to time with your mental health. Like, it builds up, and by not talking, by not expressing how you're feeling, it may come out as anger and hatred. You feel anger and hatred there, and your mind gets confused. It just does not know what to do in that moment. It's gone confused. Whatever is going on there needs to come out, and sometimes it comes at it like when you have maybe a relapse with your mental health, is where it's built up, and like I said, the mind just gets confused. But gradually easing it out from time to time, expressing how you're feeling, will take that anger, take all the added away from how you're feeling, like the anger, the hatred. You learning to put away from that and express it on the best way you can. And the best thing to do is, when you're talking about it, is to be honest with yourself, by what really is going on with your thoughts, your feelings and emotions, because then you're outletting all of it. It's like, let's just say, getting rid of the rubbish. You take the rubbish out, getting rid of that rubbish, what's going on with your mind, and how it's affecting your feelings and emotions. And eventually, the more you do it, the more you get better at it, like I said, with the confidence. And it will help with the emotional blocks. When you get those emotional blocks, it will help with that, because eventually it will come naturally to you to be able to just talk about it. And you may find as well, eventually along the line, you may be able to talk a bit more about what is actually going on with your mental health. Like I said, these things, they do take time, but like I said, they have many benefits, and that is one thing. Talking is a big thing, especially if you're suffering with mental health problems. And I can understand, like, how difficult it is, especially the world we live in, how mental health, how things have how things have revolved around mental health, like stigma. Stigma does not help with people wanting to express about their mental health. Stigma, that dark cloud that's hovered over mental health for such a long time, that hasn't helped with people expressing how they're feeling, and ending up suffering alone because of it. Like I said, built a stigma around themselves because of the stigma that revolved around mental health in the society we live in. This past year, like with the lockdowns, the restrictions, many more people suffering with their mental health. I think now is a time to learn to put away from that stigma, and realise that we should let go of that stigma and bring light to mental health, because that in itself will help people, and be kind, bring kindness to mental health, because that in itself will help people to start to outlet how they're feeling, and talking about how they're feeling with their mental health. It goes a long way, because talking, like I said, is a big thing for someone that is suffering with their mental health. And what we can do, we can't talk for that person or persons about how they're feeling, but we can be there to encourage and support those that are suffering, to enable them to express and talk a bit more about how they're feeling, and bringing mental health into a normal conversation, a day-to-day normal conversation, will go a long way for people, because that in itself will, like I said, enable people to be able to speak freely and openly about their mental health. You know, that's a start to recovery as well. That's another benefit. It's a start to someone's recovery. Like I said, the acceptance, confidence, being able to cope a little bit better with their illness, and talking can get a person out of a moment that they're in, a difficult moment that they're in, just instantly, you know, by talking to somebody. If you're in a, just say you're in a moment of despair with your mental health, and you I don't know, your family, friends, or you spoke to someone on a helpline, the talk line, them helplines you can get. After doing that, it will just release, take away that pressure, that stress, that pressure, lift a bit of weight off your shoulders and make you feel that much better within yourself. That's by just talking after talking, and it'll give you a bit more of an understanding what is actually eventually give you a bit of understanding around what is actually going on with your mind and your emotions and your feelings. And you learn to create a new habit of doing that, because you've got to remember the mind is very complex, and certain situations you may come across that may affect you, the mind always goes to where it's familiar with. And that's why sometimes you may have created a cycle there of where you may have come across something that's affected you and found it difficult to be able to cope with. And then you might find another time something familiar. The mind always goes to where it's familiar with. So creating a new habit and expressing a bit more on how you're feeling, you create a new positive habit and find it a bit more easier to cope with as well. So I'm going to end the video there. You know, if there is anybody out there that is watching this video that are finding it very difficult to talk, express how they're feeling, you know, be patient, small steps. These things take time, but the importance is talking and expressing how you're feeling. No matter how it comes out, somehow it has to come out. No matter how you express it, you learn along the way to be able to express it a bit better. You know, it's a learning curve. We've got to start somewhere. You start to learn to be able to express it a bit better, and you become more confident. So if there is anybody out there that is finding it difficult, just give it a go. Talk about it. You will find each time you do so, it will get easier, and you'll start to feel that much better with it all, and with your feelings, your emotions, and your thoughts as well. Being able to cope with it that much better, that much easier, alongside any of your own other coping strategies that you may have, because they're important too, to have a good routine. So like I said, I'm going to end the video there. Please share this video, because it is very important talking and expressing how we're feeling. I think we should all do it a bit more often, express and bring it into a normal day-to-day conversation. Mental health, how we're feeling, you know, bring that kindness, keep that kindness there, that light, bring that light in and put away from that stigma. So yeah, please share this video and don't forget as well to give us a like.